Here I am in the beautiful Baviaanskloof, South Africa, and I'm really wanting to speak to you about location, 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 and the importance of property management in managing your property. One of my students asked me recently about how do we judge or assess whether we should outsource our property management for our properties or if we should keep them in control. And there are three main reasons that will determine whether it's best to outsource or whether to keep the control of yourself and manage the properties yourself. The first one is the kind of investor you are. If you like to be hands-on, or if actually those kinds of details and dealing with people just is not in your flow and you just can't bear the thought of that. The second one is the degree to the power that your systems can automate or create such a smooth flowing process that actually managing it yourself is going to be really streamlined. And also take into account that even if you have an external property manager, you will still need systems to ensure that they're doing a good job, right? A lot of property investors have lost a lot of money because they have just said, I'm going to outsource it, and they have lost a lot of money because the managers have not done a good job, and therefore they have lost control and the managers have stolen money. And that is the second important part, is we need systems, even systems of controlling it ourselves, or systems about managing the manager to manage the property. And the third and really important one is location, location, location. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't matter how beautiful and how important or how strategic the location of your property is. As they always say, right? Location, location, location is the first thing to think about property investing. I actually say to you, it's property management, property management, property management. Take, for example, a beautiful house in the best location that can get the highest rentals, but you've got a poor management, a manager who doesn't really care about your property, who's not active about listing it online, and therefore does not get applications or process them through. Or what happens if they're so overloaded that they've got so many applications that they're only processing it, and only a month or 2 months later do you actually get a successful application and a tenant in your place? That means 1 or 2 months rent that you've now lost out. What about those that don't actively renew the leases or find a way to keep those tenants that are really great, or vet those tenants that actually are going to be fantastic tenants as opposed to those that are going to actually trash your place? So whether you've got a great property with poor management, you're going to lose money, or whether you've got an average property in an average location but a great manager, that manager can make your property earn more money than if it was just outsourced to an average person. So again, I don't think it's about location, location, location. It's about property management, property management, property management. Now, once we've overcome those three different things, this is going to be really important for you to determine what kind of investor are you. Are you the kind of investor that really likes to have a tight control and to be aware of what's going on? I prefer to know what's going on. I prefer to actually know who's in my place, what is it like, are they paying rent on time? And yes, I'm going to outsource certain elements of that, like rent collection, like a whole lot of the maintenance, but I like to still know that things are being done and I'm on track of it. Yes, I do outsource totally to property managers. For example, in America, I have properties in the USA, and there I'm going to have managers because I'm just nowhere nearby. But again, I want to manage the manager by knowing that they're doing a good job. So I'm asking them to send me monthly reports that have the breakdowns of what I need, not what they say they're going to give me. I want to know that they're going to give me the information that I am needing, right? So first and foremost is really determining what kind of investor you are. And you may very well be an investor that is so busy with a whole lot of other businesses or so many properties that you're just outsourcing that. So there's no right or wrong about that, because that will depend on your profile and who you are as an investor. The second one coming out of that will be the systems that you have in place. And systems are incredibly important, whether you outsource or whether you use it yourself. Those systems will determine the flow of the applications coming in and the tenants that are there, and the degree to which you can still have a finger on the pulse even though you may not be in total control. And that is going to be the same whether you're a self-managed property investor or whether you're outsourcing. You will still need to have solid systems, and those systems will determine, for example, the amount of time that you're spending on your applications, the speed through which you can actually vet an applicant, the degree to which you can ensure your applicant will be a good tenant. Also, the way in which your property is managed. Do you send out monthly reports asking your tenants to feed back to you on what needs to be maintained or what else needs to be added into the property so that it becomes something that they value more? I have found that the more contact I have with my tenants, automated, is the quicker I can respond and actually sort out the things that need to be done. And in this day and age, I have noticed that tenants are actually not only looking for properties to live in, they're looking for good landlords who will look after the properties that they want to live in. And the way that I interact with them, the way that I send them my surveys, what needs to be done in the kitchen, what needs to be done in the bathroom, is there any other area of the house that needs attention or looking into? Just those kinds of automated surveys make my tenants feel that I am really valuing the place, and so they actually want to renew their leases because they have found a really great place to stay. So that will be the second one, about the systems. Now, whether you design the systems yourself or whether you use someone else like myself to really give you those systems and to show you how you can adapt the systems to your own benefit, that's going to be really important, is making sure you've got the great systems. You do not have to do it all by yourself. And the third one, like I said, is location, location, location. In my worldview, it's property management, property management, property management. That for me is where a lot of the money is made or kept, for example. They're saying property, it's when you buy, when you make money. Well, in my experience, that hasn't always been the case. I like to think of I make money in 3 different levels: when I buy, how I manage, and when I sell. And each of those are as important. No one must tell me that it's only when I buy that I'm going to make the money, because so much money is lost by investors who outsource property management to people who do a terrible job, and therefore they get so frustrated, so upset, so disillusioned that they now become motivated sellers and just want to get rid of those properties because that doesn't work. The amount of clients that come to me asking for my systems or asking for my support is because they've had so many bad experiences of other property managers. And of course they're saying, well, I want to run my other businesses. I don't have time to just run these properties. What do I do? And that is really going to be important for you to decide. What kind of investor are you? Do you have the systems? And you need to find the right property manager. So in that, there are certain questions that we can ask the property managers. There's certain things that I have in a contract with them, not just them giving me a contract that I have to sign. I have a contract to them. Things like saying, if you do not reply back within 2 business days to my email to you, that is a clause or a criteria for me to cancel our contract without any penalties. Because a lot of these managing agents, they have penalties if I want to cancel within the year. Then they say I must pay the full year's fee up front to them because I have cancelled the contract. And I've said, no, if you do not perform, if you do not meet the criteria I'm putting down for you, then I have a right to terminate from immediate effect with no penalties. I'm wanting them to step up into my world and say, you're providing me with a service, so you need to also meet my criteria. Yes, I'll also meet yours, but I want to know that you're also stepping up and delivering on that. Also, the kinds of questions we want to ask, other landlords we want to speak to, right? So we want to vet our property managers and not just choose one randomly. So those are the kinds of things that are absolutely important. And as I've said, I believe are often more important than just where your property is. In America, people ask me, how do I choose to where invest? And I say, well, there are certain agents, certain brands that I have found work really well, that are system-driven brands. I will first find where they are located in a state and in a city, and only then will I look in that surrounding for a property to purchase that would meet my criteria for a good investment property. I first look, where are the managers, and then can I find the properties around those managers, because that company is the one that's going to do it. So I'm all for property management, property management, property management. And once again, here I'm in the beautiful Baviaanskloof. It's a beautiful day, summer's day. You can see fantastic mountains. And this is all around creating the life that I love to live.